Hello, students. So it is my pleasure to present this video lecture series to you. I hope that this all video will be very much useful to you. So in this video series, I will try to complete all the whole chapter vapor power cycle. Clear? So we will start with our basic introduction. So for that, I am sharing this PPT with you. So 1 minute. So now this is the PPT. So first we will discuss about the basic of vapor power cycle. So first we need to understand that what is difference between vapor and gas. Now vapor means incomplete evaporation. Vapor means incomplete evaporation. Examples of vapors are example of vapor is steam. In steam we can see that uh, evaporation is incomplete. That's why it is known as vapor. And gases means it is known as complete evaporation. And examples are hydrogen, nitrogen, uh, oxygen. These are the gas, these are known as gas because we cannot find liquid particle of these nitrogen, oxygen at normal condition. At our normal temperature we cannot find any liquid particle of nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. Clear? uh, Although it is there at lower temperature, we can find out, we can see, or we can observe, we can find out the liquid particle of nitrogen also, but at lower temperature. But in our normal condition we cannot find out it because it is known as complete evaporation. That's why nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen are example of gas, and steam is an example of vapor. So we will try to understand first this vapor power cycle. So it is applied in thermal power plant. Vapor power cycle is generally useful in thermal power. In thermal power plant, we know that what is the basic role. It is used to generate power. Clear? Whatever the electricity we are getting, that is generally from power plants. It may be from thermal power plant. So it is applicable to the thermal power plant. So we all know that generator, to generate electricity we need generator. So generator is connected with the turbine. Clear? Now here generator, whenever we will rotate shaft of generator, electricity get produced. But for that, this shaft is also connected with the turbine, so we also have to rotate turbine. Clear? So generator is connected with the turbine. If we want to rotate the shaft of generator, we have to rotate the turbine. Now how can we rotate the turbine? For that, we continuously have to supply steam, pressurized steam, to the turbine. Then and then it starts rotating and it continues rotating. Clear? So here continuous flow of high pressure steam is needed. And from where we can get that steam? We can get that steam from the boiler. So we will start from here. We will start from here. Point number one. Now at point number one, our working medium is water and it is in liquid phase. Water means it is in liquid phase. We are supplying water here. So we will try to understand this uh, along with Rankine cycle. So in Rankine cycle you can see this is our point number one. At this point we are supplying water. I hope that you all aware about this dome. Clear? So this is our liquid region, this is our liquid plus vapor region, and this is our vapor region. I hope that you are aware about this. So this is liquid region, liquid plus vapor and vapor. Now right now at point number 1 we have only liquid, so that's why it is at point number 1. So whenever we will supply it in the boiler, what will happen? Its temperature will increase first. So here you can see that temperature get increased. Then after what will happen? That liquid will slowly become vapor, and once it get or vapor formation completed, then after if we will continue heat supply, if we will continuously supplying heat, then it's again its temperature will increase. Clear? So this process is related with the boiler. In boiler what will happen? We are supplying liquid and at point number 1, and we are getting steam at point number 2. Clear? So this is the boiler. We are supplying water at point number 1, we are getting superheated steam at point number 2. So at point number 2 we have to supply the steam. So turbine starts rotating, and then after from this outlet steam will come out. Clear? So here we are supplying steam, and here also steam will come out. But at point number 2 we know that pressure is higher, and at point number 3 pressure will become reduced or pressure will reduce. Clear? Because of turbine what will happen? Pressure get reduced, and also temperature also get reduced. So these also we can see in TS diagram. What will happen in 2 to 3? It is related with the turbine. Now in turbine what will happen? We can see this. Temperature get reduced, and also pressure also get reduced. So this is related with the turbine. I hope that you understood. Now what is the state at point number 2? It is basically superheated. And what is the state at point number 3? You can see this. It is the weight state in which generally dryness fraction is a little bit higher than 50 percentage. We can see here that this is superheated, and this is in a wet region where we have dryness fraction generally more than zero point 0.5. Clear? So this is the point number 3. Basically it is steam. Then after, now we want to convert that steam into water. Clear? So that's why we are using this component. Now this component is known as, this component is our condenser. This is condenser. Remember, this is our condenser. Now what will happen? Whenever we will supply steam at point number 3, we have to remove heat from that steam. Then and then we can convert that steam into water. Clear? If we want to convert that steam into water, what we have to do? We have to remove the heat. So in condenser we are trying to remove the heat, so it will become liquid again. So that liquid, now we will see that TS diagram for condenser. Here you can see that at point number 3 we have steam, major portion is of steam, and at point number 4 what we have? Pure liquid, total liquid. So that conversion is possible by use of condenser. Then after we are supplying this liquid to the pump, and what pump will do that we all know. Pressure get increased and little bit temperature get increased. So major pressure get increased. Clear? So this was about the schematic diagram of Rankine cycle. This is the TS diagram of Rankine cycle. Again we are repeating. At the entry of boiler we are supplying water. In boiler what will happen? We are supplying heat. So that's why this water will become superheated steam. Clear? Then after this steam we are supplying to the turbine. It will perform its work, and that's why its pressure and temperature get reduced. So here we have supplied superheated steam, and here we get steam. Clear? So lecture. So here we can get the steam. Then after, what will happen here? This steam we want to convert it again into liquid. So how can we convert? By removing heat from it. So this steam again will become liquid, and this liquid means water. Again, by use of pump, we have to supply it to the boiler. So this is our cycle, and this is our cycle, uh, Rankine cycle, TS diagram. Now here we will discuss that in which process in boiler we are supplying heat, that we all know. In turbine we are getting work, we are getting work. In condenser we are rejecting heat, and in pump we are giving work. Remember this. Remember this. In boiler we are supplying heat, in turbine we are getting work, in condenser we are rejecting heat, in pump we are supplying work. Clear? So before that we need to discuss the process. Which type of process is this? So process number 1 to 2 is constant pressure process. Pressure process 2 to 3 is isentropic process. Process 3 to 4 is also, we can see this, constant pressure constant temperature process. These 3 to 4, and this process is also isentropic. Here you can see this line is vertical. If line is vertical, then this is isentropic, means entropy remain constant. So this is also vertical line, and here our entropy remains constant. So two processes are isentropic. These 2 to 3 and 4 to 1. This is our constant pressure process, and this is constant pressure constant temperature process, or generally it is constant pressure process. These 3 to 4. Clear? So this was about the heat work. Now whenever we want to find out the efficiency, we require value of enthalpy. Now we will discuss that what is the value of heat supplied. Heat supplied means H2 minus H1. Here you can see that heat supplied H2 minus H1. But before that we will discuss. Now generally in all the power plant, process which occurs is 1, 2 dash, 3 dash and 4. This is the only process which generally occur in the power plant. But two options are also there. You can supply this saturated steam to the turbine, then our process will become 1, 2, 3, 4. If you will supply saturated steam to the turbine, if you will supply wet steam to the turbine, then this will be our cycle 1, 2 dash, 3 dash and 4. Clear? But generally in all the power plant, these will be the useful cycle, which 1, 2 double dash, 3 double dash and 4. Now we were discussing about the formula, that what is the formula of heat supplied? H2 minus H1. So here you can see heat supplied H2 minus H1. What will be the formula of work of turbine or work out? H2 minus H3. H2 minus H3. What should be the equation of heat rejected? H3 minus H4. Here you can see this H3 minus H4. What will be the equation of pump work? H1 minus H4. Here also you can see this H1 minus H4. So this is also H1 minus H4. So I hope that you understood this formula properly. So on the basis of diagram, you can find out this equation. Now we will discuss about the efficiency. How to find out efficiency. Now we know that what is the equation of efficiency? Output by input. Output by input. Now here in power plant, what is output? How much electricity we produce? That is our output. But here we will consider mechanical part, means turbine. So how much work we got from the turbine? That is our output. So this will be our output, and also some of the work we are giving into the pump. So our output will be Wt minus Wp. Remember, output will be Wt minus Wp. You understood? So this is our output. Now to produce electricity, what we are supplying? We are supplying heat by combustion of fuel. It may be coal, it may be oil, but by combustion of fuel, we are supplying heat to the boiler. So this is our input. This is our input. Q supplied H2 minus H1. Clear? So now we will discuss about the equation of efficiency. W net divided by heat supply. I told you that what is W net? Work of turbine minus work of pump divided by heat supply. So you can compare here. Work of turbine H2 minus H3. So same thing we have written here. Clear? So this is the equation. Now we have just rearranged upper term. You can see H2 minus H1 and H3 minus H4. Now these are the similar term, H2 minus H1, and this is also H2 minus H1. Clear? So our final equation will become this. You can see 1 minus H3 minus H4 divided by H2 minus H1. This will be our equation for efficiency when pump work considered. When pump work considered. Now whenever we will neglect pump work, generally value of pump work is very low. This value. So we know that W net is equal to this work minus this W turbine minus W pump. So whenever you will neglect this, so your equation will become this minus this H2 minus H3 divided by H2 minus H1. Clear? So this will be the equation whenever you will neglect the pump work. So this was the content for basic understanding of vapor power cycle. In next lecture we will discuss about how to find the enthalpy, how to find the efficiency. So thank you all for listening me. I hope that this lecture series will become useful to you. Clear? So thank you all.